around the world reporting on unique ceremonies and looking at what marriage means in different countries. So today we're going to South Africa, where as recently as the 1980s, mixed-race marriages were illegal under apartheid. Now couples are allowed to choose who they marry. But the different backgrounds can bring some challenges, you could say. Deborah Pato went to Pretoria to explore one of those weddings.
This is a true celebration of love across racial and cultural barriers. But although apartheid is over in South Africa, weddings like this one are still the exception to the norm. Two worlds collide as the Maselas and the Daltons come together for the marriage of their children, Mante and Andrew. The groom's mother, Hazel Dalton, wipes away tears. Nobody underestimates the importance of this moment. Celebrating love across the color line. Once outlawed and punishable by prison, this would have been unimaginable in apartheid South Africa.
My grandmother, who unfortunately isn't here to this day, she was more excited than anyone else because she's like, this is exactly what Nelson Mandela fought for.
It's also a celebration across cultural lines. They're here to negotiate a bride price known as LOBOLA. Traditionally a means to cement ties between two families. Mante is Pedi, one of South Africa's many ethnic groups. Andrew's family's from England. LOBOLA is a centuries-old tradition that used to be paid in cattle, but that's a little complicated in these modern times.
At first I was a little bit skeptical because obviously, again, something's new to me, but you have to go in with an open mind and you have to respect the culture and the family. And at the end of the day, if I want to marry Mante, that's something I'm going to have to do.
The amount that we agreed upon.
The final amount is confidential. A young, well-educated woman like Mante could easily fetch up to 15 cows, the equivalent of just over $10,000. But as Mante gets ready, she acknowledges it's not always easy being a modern couple navigating traditional African customs.
We're just doing what we need to do in this period to make our parents happy, and then we go back to our normal lives where we don't have to fall into the gender roles.
Right now, though, she has more pressing concerns.
But I'm also nervous about his dancing, so we'll see.
Is he like one of those white men who can't dance?
Yeah. But he's going to try. He's been trying to practice the moves.
There's a thoughtful, if slightly misplaced, nod to Andrew's heritage. Clearly, nobody seems to mind that Scotland and England are completely different nations. But for the most part, it is a thoroughly African affair, which includes being schooled in how to be a good wife. The traditional ceremony is part of 10 days of festivities, culminating in what many would regard as a thoroughly modern wedding at a wine farm outside Cape Town. This time, it was very much Mante and Andrew's event. Their friends flew in from around the world for the big day, part 2. There were the usual wedding day nerves and the bride's almost obligatory late arrival, followed by the joyful walk down the aisle on her father's arm.
The two of us.
The two of us
are a united front.
are a united front.
Do it, girl.
And then it was time to party, where Andrew's dance moves were finally put to the test. For family friends like Rudy Majikane, who lived through apartheid, there's even more cause to celebrate.
Love knows no boundaries. And because of love knows no boundaries, in those days, love would know boundaries because then you'd be arrested for having it. So it's the proudest day of my life.
And now, 3 decades on, while weddings like this are still unusual, for Mante and Andrew it feels completely natural. They're just two young people deeply in love. For Mante and Andrew, this is the joyous beginning of their married life. But for the older generation, this is so much bigger. Another way in which Nelson Mandela's dream of a non-racial society is being realized. For CBS This Morning, I'm Deborah Pater in Pretoria, South Africa.
Well, they seem off to a good start. I love that the bride was concerned about his dance moves because dancing in South Africa is very big. Dancing and
Did he
singing.
pass the test, do you think?
What do you think?
I think he gets an A for effort.
I was going to say A for effort as well.
Very diplomatically put.
And I love when the minister said, "Do it, girl."
Yes,
Put the ring on. Very